Well, viewers, you're welcome once again. This is my live show, and this is your own guy, Humphrey. This is the wonderful exclusive show that you can never get, inspirational and motivational show you can never get in Ghana. This is where the people named in stories share their life stories so that you will be impacted and you will leave an indelible mark in your life. Today, I present to you one of the best in Ghana, one of the inspirational, motivational speakers in Ghana, Emmanuel Dei-Tumi. Somebody who was a nobody and now has risen up to the level that God has placed him. I believe that his life story will turn things around. His life story will change a lot of things in your life, and you don't have to miss it. Just stick around, don't go anywhere. But before that, I want you to know that life is a dream for the wise. It is a game for the fool. It is a comedy for the rich, and it is a tragedy for the poor. Just stick around with me. This is your own guy, Humphrey. We'll return after this break. Welcome back, viewers. This is the one and only show again, Yes, My Life. If you're just tuning in, we are going to listen to the life story of Dei-Tumi. This is the hour. So, okay, we don't waste much time. We're zooming in straight into the life story of Dei-Tumi.
We live in a country where we don't celebrate success. I never saw my father. I was 1 year, 6 months when my father died. My mother never went to school before. My mother is a stark illiterate woman, never sat in the classroom. My father had 5 kids with my mother. There are other wives. And if you recollect, in those days, female education was not a priority to most people. So my mother didn't go to school, stayed at home. Unfortunately, when my grandfather, my step-grandfather, was about to pass away, where they drove my mother out of that house. At that time, I was doing my A level. I came back, having been told that my mother had been driven away from that house, and my mother had slept by the oven overnight. My mother was a baker. And I recollect the statement my mother made. I knelt down by her and I said, Mom, life will be better. Don't worry. He said, Nyame beye. This is my mother's palace, Nyame beye. But life was very tough. I started. And anytime I went and sold, I would buy a tin of milk and throw it under my bed. I buy Guardian. Those days they used to have the Guardian cube, the red cube. If you are quite old, a little bit old, and I'll buy them and put them under my bed. The reason I was doing all those things was because inside of me, I knew that life had to be better. I knew that I had to do something than where I was. My mother would always tell you, your place is the farm, because in those days, the most decent work at Toyoko was farming. But I said to myself, farming, as much as farming is dignified, look at my palm. How was I going to be able to? I went and opened the lid. People see when they think that I recall my headmaster calling me to his office, and he said, you may be the school prefect, but if you don't register, you won't go to university. And I looked at this man, and I looked at where I'm coming from, the journey I've covered so far. And I said to myself, there's no way my education will end here. I only pleaded with him for him to give me one more term because I had a plan. Now, during the vacation, I went and stayed with my, distant father or uncle at Bunso, who was a driver at the Cocoa Research Institute. If you go to Bunso, they have this Cocoa Research Institute. I think now they said it's a university or something like that. And over there, in the evening, I was preparing banku and soup to sell myself. And in the morning, I'll go and be a pantry boy. When they finish eating, we'll correct the plates and clean to the kitchen. And then we'll eat the surplus from that food, from whatever the workers had left over. In the evening, I'll go and prepare banku and soup to come and sell. It was through that I was able to get money, go back to school, register for the exam, wrote the exam, went to University of Ghana, was elected the SRC president. So life for me was tough from the beginning. And I recall one day, Form 5, I was made the singing prefect. And then when they elected me as the school prefect, I had a stepbrother who was doing the speech.
Pick the day. Enjoy it to the hilt. The day as it comes. People as they come. The past, I think, has helped me appreciate the present, and I don't want to spoil any of it by fretting about the future. This quote is from Audrey Hepburn, and of course, I love it so much. Why do we fret about the future when God has given us today to live? My name is Ajua Kennedy Adam. Join me same time next week right here on the motivational segment of My Life show for another wonderful package.
My uncle's wife removed her shoe and slapped my mother. My aspirations in life basically was to do something to wipe the tears of my mother. I was determined to make sure the pain and the distress my mother had. My mother was treated like a nobody in the family. People I'm sorry, okay. I'm really sorry. Did I have mentors? I would say at that time, though, I didn't have any mentor. Perhaps my mother was my only motivating factor. You see, I went to secondary school with a determined heart. I remember the day I put my chalkboard. I didn't go to school with a lot of things. I went with trunk, which my mother's only trunk bought for her by my father. And I recollect the day my mother brought the trunk out of her room and gave it to me. I could see the tears in her eyes. I think the greatest gift God gave me in my entire life was asking me to go to because I carry a very big dream, and my dream is such that it's difficult sometimes for people to appreciate the things I do, because I don't see today. I don't have many friends. One of my dreams for going to university was to have my wedding done at the university. And the second thing I wanted to do was to make sure everybody who mattered in University of Ghana was at my wedding. And so whilst I was in sixth form, I said to myself, the only way I could get the vice chancellor to attend my wedding was to become the SRC president. So I used to come to Legon and fetch water for the then SRC president during vacation. I was basically an errand boy for the guy. And I was doing all that with one particular reason, to ask. You can never go far unless you have somebody who speaks into your life. You can never go far unless you have somebody who has been where you want to go to before. And a lot of times people confuse mentorship with friends. Your mentor doesn't have to be your friend. Your mentor doesn't have to like you. Your mentor is not interested in your present, but rather your tomorrow. And so if you are going to make it in life, one of the key things young people of today need to understand is that they need to have people who can speak into their life, who can look in your eyes and tell you, you are wrong, regardless of your position, regardless of who you are. And that is what a lot of young people are avoiding. The second mistake young people are making is that they stand at a distance. And they say, oh, whenever they meet you, oh, you are my mentor. And they've never read your book. They've never attended your seminar. Even when they see it, no, how can somebody be your common sense?
Well, viewers, you're welcome back. That was a wonderful story that, Dei-Tumi has given to us. Wow. I was very much touched, It got to a point in time that the guy was crying. Wow. Yeah, sometimes you become very emotional. But I believe that you've been touched, you've been transformed by what you've listened to. One thing that I want you to know, this is the only show that the people in stories tell of their life stories. A young guy wanting to wipe the tears off his mother. And trust me, he's been able to do that. Until same time next week, I believe that you're going to listen to the other part of the life story of Dei-Tumi. But before I sign out, I'm telling you that you don't have to know who a person is before you respect him or her. Perhaps that person might be the password to your breakthrough. So until same time next week on this same episode, on this same station, you know what? I sign out. I'm Humphrey.